Hi guys, welcome back to another reaction video and thoughts here on Our Eyes Your Eyes. I'm ready to watch episode 4 of season 2 of Vinland Saga. But before starting this video, I just want to remind you, as always, to subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell, leave a like to support me, and feel free to follow me in these crazy and amazing adventure. In the previous episode, we saw that Thorfinn wanted to die because he thought that he didn't have anything worth living. You're wrong, Thorfinn. So let's see what's going to happen now. I really hope that he's going to wake up somehow and he's going to overthink and understand more about things. Are you ready to join me with these? Check it out. Ah, yeah, because he was hungry. No way! He didn't do anything. For sure. What? Ooh! Oh my! Ah, Scelado, look, he resembled him. Yes, yes. Oh my. My. Yeah. Yes. No, he's even. He's behaving like Askeladd. But he was helping waking him up by saying the right thing. Until your body reacts, you're still alive. Yes, yes, you want to live. Otherwise, you didn't act like that. Yes. Hmm. Exactly. I always stand on Einar's side here. Exactly. Einar is right. Thorfinn, open your ears. Mm. It shouldn't be natural. But I understand both points of view. Ooh. Wow, she's so nice. Oh my, look. Thank you. But he's not used to it. Because nobody was kind to him lately, so. It's so good that Einar is there with Thorfinn. It will not be the same. It would definitely not be the same. He wants to go to the wood so to feel alone. I mean, he's a habitat now. But I'm happy that he doesn't go alone. Because as soon as he understands that Einar wants to be his friend, things change. I mean, life is showing him that things are different, not as he imagined. Oh yeah. No, in fact, not at all. That's what he was taught so far. Yes, yes. But he should remember that Thors was not weak. Thors was strong. He was killed for something else. Yes. Oh yes. I lost the count. More, more. In fact, he doesn't. Uh, like the trees that you are. Oh my. At least Thorfinn was honest. But he could have picked up another excuse, but I preferred that. But Einar didn't answer, so he doesn't hate Thorfinn, right? And they didn't talk after that. I don't think Thorfinn is sleeping anyway. What does he want to do? This reminds me of a scene that I saw in season 1. Thorfinn and Askeladd. He will not do anything. Mm. No! No, no, he will not do that. And Thorfinn is letting him do so. Because he could react, but... Oh, no, actually, he is strangling him. No, he will not do that. No. Einar, stop. I hope Thorfinn doesn't do anything bad on him because he should understand him actually. Oh yes, 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 yes. That's what he was dreaming. That's the nightmare he's having lately. Good job, Einar. You made something great, let me tell you. Yeah. But see, it's true, but no, Thorfinn, you're wrong. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Go ahead, Einar. Go ahead. Yes. Oh my. Yes. He is wrong. I like the relationship between these two, you know. The more we go on, the more I am into it. Think, Thorfinn, think. Think about your mom. Wow. Wow. Oh my, look. Mm. And when he says, thank you, thank you for waking me up. In all senses, In all senses. I mean, with all the meanings possible, he woke up. I'm so happy to follow this story. I mean, hmm? Who's this? Is this Knuto? I remember that he was in front of the cross in season 1. Is this Knuto? Wow. I mean, this episode was so introspective. It was amazing. Finally, we understood what Thorfinn was dreaming, and it's pure hell. This makes you understand most of the times when we judge from outside, we see one thing, and if we only could imagine what someone is thinking, that it's something unknown, something that we don't understand because we can't tell just by looking at a person, right? At a person's face. This is the clear example that while we saw Thorfinn so still, emotionless, like as if he is gone. He's somewhere else with his mind and with his own body is over there. I mean, it doesn't even seem that he is present, as I told you, in those circumstances. But when you see what he is dreaming, constantly dreaming, you understand that what's outside doesn't correspond with the inside. That there is like a two faces of the same medal, of the same coin. Thorfinn is living a pure hell because he is dreaming about all these destruction, all these moments in which death was the protagonist of his life, where destruction was something really natural, something common, and the easiness that he's using while he's saying something like this, like, for me, it's natural. It's okay to die. I mean, there's nothing good around me. It never was something good around me lately that I started believing that there's nothing good because of what I've lived so far. I really liked even the fact that we could see hell. I mean, fire everywhere. These people that they are like monsters trying to catch him up, trying to tell him, kill him, kill him, kill him. That means kill the prey, kill because I order you to kill. What Askeladdo or Askeladd did was this, principally. Was to tell him, look at Thorfinn, it's time to go on a mission, you are going to kill him and then I will reward you with a jewel. That was his life. From the moment he was 6 years old till adolescence, he did this every single day. So once you train a little boy to do something like this. It's not like when you train an adult and he can remember all his childhood filled with peaceful moments and whatever. No, in this case, since he was 6, the only thing that he could see, actually, that he can remember concretely is death, is killing, is conquering, is destroying things, is cutting heads one after the other one. It's enemies and allies. It's all these kind of things. It's hell. It's negativity. So we can't expect from Thorfinn that he is going to evolve as a character immediately. First of all, we needed to see his state of mind. And with this episode, it's totally clear the nightmare, the constant nightmare that he's living, and the way in which he feels trapped into this nightmare, because before Einar comes in his life, there's nobody. Okay, there's the master, but there's no one who is getting in touch with him so deeply as Einar is doing. Einar's arrival is something therapeutic. That's why I told you that as soon as Einar arrived and he came out of the woods, that was for him like a sort of a rebirth. Of course it takes time to have a proper rebirth, but it was already the beginning of something that meant go out from darkness, come out to light, and start thinking that what you have thought so far was wrong. Einar is essential in this part of the story, principally because of this, but later in the future we are going to see, I really hope that, this cooperation between the two. I hope that Einar becomes his best friend. I really hope that this relationship is going to last, because Thorfinn really deserves to have next to him someone who's going to re-educate him. In fact, Einar is re-educating Thorfinn in so many ways, like you have to say thank you, you have to say I'm sorry. He didn't know these things, or let's say he forgot those things, because before Askeladd he was well instructed by his parents how to behave, even if Thorfinn, we know that he was not following his parents' suggestions all the time. He was pretty rebellious since he was born at this point, but of course there is a difference before Thor's death and after. But now he needs to put himself into society once again. He needs to make the first steps, as if he is an infant. Now he has to start living once again. And if you are approaching the right people, you can have a different vision of life. I mean, if he approached not this master, but another master that was like Askeladd, or let's say that was like another Viking, then things would have not changed at all. But he approached this master, and at the same time he approached Einar. So if Einar was not coming into this farm to work for the master, I could have agreed with Thorfinn by saying that nothing good happens in his life that is not worth living or whatever. But since there was that moment in which Einar arrived, we can see that Thorfinn is wrong. Because never say never. In life, when you expect that everything is over, something is going to prove you wrong. And Einar is exactly the representation of this concept. Even Einar has his traumas. Even Einar has his delicate moment in which he still feels fragile, because he of course remembers the loss of his mom, the loss of his sister, and whatever, but he followed what his mother told him. That means keep going on living, run, survive, live, okay? That is totally the opposite from what Thorfinn is doing, because Thorfinn, on the contrary, didn't follow what his father would have told him to do. That means to take care of your family, go on living. Yeah, actually in a dream, Thors was telling him, look, Thorfinn, I don't agree with this. You should go on living and don't pay attention on all these things that you're doing. I don't need to be avenged. But he didn't follow that dream. He preferred to keep going on his path, and his path took him to kill lots of people, took him to lose the opportunity to feel, and took him away from a reality that it's possible because it's real. Even the other vision of life is real. Not only what Thorfinn experienced, but even totally the opposite. So I really like the dream that he had, because that dream explains you all the monsters that Thorfinn is facing every single night. And even if he seems that he is dreaming, actually the result is always the same. That means he is waking up, that he is pretty shocked, and he is remembering little by little what's happening, even if at the beginning, in the previous episodes, he said, I don't remember what I'm dreaming. But now that we could see what he is dreaming, it's like as if his mind is completely resetting everything. He is resetting everything. I mean, it's deleting everything from its own mind because it's too traumatic. Yeah, I liked that dream because you understand how much Thorfinn is in trouble. He is chained. He's in a cage that he himself built, and the course of events helped this cage to become bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, let's say not bigger, but stronger, stronger and stronger, to not be able to be open in that cage anymore. I also liked that in his nightmare, he is still dreaming about that woman in season 1 that could take care of her. And suddenly, her village, but also her life, was not spared at all, was completely destroyed. That woman was already telling Thorfinn that what he is saying right now is totally wrong, because that woman was proving him that even if they were from two different sides of the same war, that woman was treating him as a human being and not as a Danish person. I mean, not as an ally of Danes. That was pretty intense. I mean, that experience for Thorfinn marked something in his heart that he's still remembering her. It makes you understand that if he's still remembering that thing and that person, something important happened in his life, even after Thor's death. At that time, he didn't realize it. He was not focusing on that thing. That woman gave him food. That woman combed his hair. That woman washed him. That woman gave him a roof, okay? To stay under a roof, to sleep. And that woman cured him. That woman provided him everything he needed. And he felt peaceful at that time after such a long time. But he felt that way. And he preferred to forget about that because of what was happening in his life and because of the path that he was choosing. So when Einar is saying you are wrong, actually, yes, he is wrong. Thorfinn is completely wrong because he is still brainwashed by the idea that the only thing that he lived was hell, 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 hell. And 99% of the cases, that's true. Thorfinn, from 6 years old till now, recently, in this season, he was living like this. But then, we also see that he remembers the woman. He also sees that he is even remembering Askeladd through Snake. His memories start being vivid. And that's a way to be alive, sincerely. I really hope that Thorfinn is understanding Einar's point of view too, because Einar did something really awesome, in my opinion. Of course, if Einar would have followed his anger that he had in the moment in which he discovered who Thorfinn is, he would have killed him, without a doubt. But this didn't happen, because Einar was able to calm himself down, to erase from his mind this kind of thought, and to be more logical. I mean, to think, logically speaking, that Thorfinn didn't kill his family. So why does he have to be an enemy? Just because he was a part of them. He was not the one who killed his family. That's exactly what Thors was telling Thorfinn at the beginning of last season, in which he was saying, look, Thorfinn, you don't have enemies. If I have to be honest, I, Thors, have enemies in the case, but not you. You are just going on with the flow. Everyone who is my father's enemies, it's also my enemy. No, it's not correct. You should mind your own business. I mean, you should think about who are, or if there are enemies of yours. But if no one is attacking you, trying to hit you, or offending you, whatever, they can't be your enemies. They are other people's enemies, and they have to take care of their own decisions. That's what I'm saying. Even the fact that I saw that Askeladd appeared because the snake resembled Askeladd in some sort of ways. For example, his way of looking at him, or the fact that he was sobbing, or the fact that he was talking to his man in a certain way. Yes, it reminded me of Askeladd too. So when he saw that he could have resembled him, even Thorfinn's eyes couldn't stand that anymore, and you saw in a sort of awakening happening in Thorfinn's mind, that immediately his body reacted. So what the snake said, it's essential, because he said if your body was moving like that, it means that you wanted to survive. It means that you wanted to live still. Otherwise, you would have not done anything. But in that moment, Snake was approaching Thorfinn in the way Thorfinn knows. That means with angry eyes, with threatful words, and whatever. So that's why he was reacting, because that reality was the reality he knew. And also because his eyes resembled Askeladd, his real enemy, I mean fake enemy, because at the end of the day even Askeladd suggested to him the best things. And at the same time, I remember in one of the first duels between Thorfinn and Askeladd, that Askeladd is asking Thorfinn, well, look, how did I kill your father? Because I don't remember. Actually, he played unfairly, of course, because he raised his hand, and the men who were working for him understood that that was the sign to launch these arrows on Thors. But actually, Askeladd didn't kill Thors for real. That's why I'm saying Thors in that time, in that moment, didn't realize that all those arrows were coming, but that was not Thorfinn's fault, okay? Okay, Thorfinn was kept as a hostage by Bjorn and at the time, so he couldn't move and whatever. So he feels guilty because he couldn't move. He feels guilty because he couldn't protect his father. He was guilty because he died in front of his eyes. But what Askeladd wanted to tell him is, you shouldn't take responsibilities on things that you didn't do, that you didn't cause, and you were not supposed to solve. That was the point, the turning point of everything. But right now, here in this episode, first of all, the relationship between Thorfinn and Einar is simply amazing. it's upgrading. I mean, it's going up and up and up and up, and I'm just happy for that. I really believe that Einar is the key of this second season, especially the beginning of it, because without Einar, Thorfinn would have not understand that you can create friends in your life. That there are people on your side, people who wanted to protect you, people who wanted to tell you run, Thorfinn, people who are ready to risk their lives in order to protect you. He experienced it already with his dad, but after that he didn't experience this at all. Just in the moment in which Askeladd or Askeladd or whatever, he protected him by killing that soldier who wanted to kill him, always in a village while they were attacking. So Thorfinn is still confused now, because after this awakening, he finally realizes, after Einar's words, that there are things that they are good, that they are not meaningful. Like, for example, Einar said, look, we ate together. We even went to the bathroom together, let's say. We slept together. We always sleep together. This is something good, because you're not alone. So when Thorfinn later is saying thank you, Einar, is not only makes Einar proud, because it makes him understand that he did something good, but he also feels emotional, because also Einar found a reason to go on living. Because even Einar was desperate. Do you remember in the first episode he was saying, I live or I die, I will not be free anymore. I mean, he was catastrophical too, but Einar knew how to react, because Einar has a different personality. And in fact, he's also saying, and this makes you understand how mature Einar is. Einar is telling Thorfinn, I don't know how much you suffered. I don't know how many traumas you went through, but you're wrong. And this is good, because he doesn't want to be presumptuous enough to tell Thorfinn, look, I know what you have been through, and you can recover from it, come on. No. He knows that he's ignorant about that, but at the same time he's proving him wrong, because there will always be something in life that proves you wrong, and you can't be sure about life, because you live life. Life is governing, let's say, on you, not the contrary. I really understand that dialogue, and I really appreciate it. The fact that Thorfinn says, thank you, Einar. Not only because he was instructed before by Einar to say thank you when someone is saying something good or something reassuring to another person, but with that thank you for awake me. It's not just because Einar did him a favor to wake him up after a nightmare. No, thank you for awake me. That means thank you because now I'm starting living again. I start believing again. I start thinking again, and I start understanding that I still don't know what to do, but there is that something. That something exists. So it's just the first step, but it's already something great, because everything has to start from step 1. We can't reach step 50 or step 100 in a second. No. Good things are done slowly and step by step. If you skip those steps, you're not going to make it great. So it's better if Thorfinn takes his time to reassure himself that he can make it. I mean, that he can still find something else to go on living. I really like how Yukimura is portraying Thorfinn, that he is so confused, he is doubting, he is ignorant, Thorfinn is not the usual superhero that we all imagine, the main character that he already knows all the answers, he is just improving his skills and whatever. No, the decadence of this character because we need this decadence before the rebirth. And now Thorfinn, little by little, will be reborn, but it takes time. We have to recollect all the ashes and create something great again. But it takes time. Yes, I think Thorfinn is definitely like the phoenix, because after it's going to ashes, then those ashes are going to be brought back again in order to let them fly. It takes time, but this is not something impossible. If Thorfinn will be surrounded by right people, life can prove you wrong even after you have lived decades of nightmares. Life can change your vision of things even in one single day. And that's what's happening actually. In one single day, Thorfinn turned upside down already his vision of things. It didn't reach 100, but it's starting, and that's something awesome. He now knows how to say thank you, he knows how to say sorry, he really understands the meaning of those words, and it's not just a word. I mean, he's paying attention on that. And this is great. Einar did a great job. He woke Thorfinn up. But I have to thank even Snake at this point, because without a Snake, probably his body would have not reacted like that. But I noticed that even Thorfinn's eyes couldn't believe that his body was moving like that. I mean, he was confused, and he's still confused. But from this episode, he understood that Einar, if he wanted to kill him, he would have done it immediately. And at the same time, he stopped, he talked, and he even gave him his hand to wake him up. That's brilliant, because Einar is the right character that needs to stay next to Thorfinn, to let him open his eyes about life in a different way. And when he started saying, oh, look, you're wrong, I thought that he was about to mention even Leif, but he didn't. And anyway, Einar already knows that Thorfinn is lucky, because he has someone who's searching for him. So Einar, little by little, will know how to approach Thorfinn. In the meantime, that was a great way to start. Look, I don't know if you understand what I mean when I say elegant. Elegant means with these soft ways, even if of course Einar almost strangled Thorfinn, but I'm saying regarding the relationship itself, there are these moments, precious moments, in which you see even Einar how he is getting in touch with Thorfinn little by little, by asking him question after question. He wants to be delicate. He doesn't want to intrude himself into this conversation as if, reply please, tell me this, tell me. No, he's, Thorfinn, have you ever been on war? Yes. Does that mean you have killed people? Yes. I mean, he's gentle, he's not rude at all, and this is the key to approach Thorfinn in a different way, because in the past he was always approached with the punches, with hitting the body, hitting the stomach. He was always preparing himself for duels, but this time, even at the distance that they were having, Thorfinn was there, Einar was here, and they were talking without approaching, physically speaking. There was a distance that Thorfinn has never seen before, especially recently speaking. He has never felt that distance, because every time it was a duel, every time it was a way to attack others, pushing others, kicking others, so killing others, so there was no way to talk, except for some exceptions. For example, when Askeladd was talking to him, and even over there was a distance, or even when Thorkel was talking to him about Thors, there was a distance, but they were during a duel. So, as you can see, the methods are different. Einar is a great character because he wants to know more about Thorfinn without being too much close to him. I mean, without letting him think that he is investigating about his life. Step by step, he is just reaching Thorfinn with the simple questions, and I find this, yeah, elegant, because we were used to have these rude approaches here in Vinland Saga, but here you see that Einar was a boy too. Einar saw his family being destroyed too, but he was stronger than Thorfinn, psychologically speaking. I mean, he could make it. He didn't want to let revenge gain his mind. He didn't want revenge to become the owner of his mind. Thorfinn, unfortunately, didn't have the same destiny, but that doesn't mean that it's too late. On the contrary, it's not too late, because Thorfinn is still really young, and even if he regrets what he did and these things that he did turned into a nightmare, little by little he can defeat that nightmare. He can acknowledge what he did, he can accept it, he can process what happened, and little by little he can be able to move on, because he has always thought that if he is a culprit, he has to be killed, and no one can forgive him, or no one can listen to him, to what he has to say, because he doesn't deserve this treatment. That's what he thinks, or what he has always thought, based on the teachings that he received, by checking, by focusing on what the other Vikings were doing. Even when he's saying the strongest defeats the weakest, or something like that, the strong defeats the weak, that's what he has always seen throughout his life. And of course he's taking it as an example, because he has seen it day after day, so he can't be different right now. We can't expect that suddenly, oh, okay, now I stop with my revenge, I don't feel guilty anymore, I will start. No, because life is not like this. In reality, we don't do this. We go to the psychologist and we maybe have a sort of a path with him or with her, and we realize what are our issues, how can we process them, how can we move on. So Thorfinn, okay, Einar is not a psychologist, but he is trying to help Thorfinn in these, and even the environment around Thorfinn is already showing Thorfinn that things are different, that they are not only just one type, but there are multiple types in life, of people, of environment, of a way of thinking, and whatsoever. So, as I told you in the previous episode, Thorfinn is just exploring the world again. It's like as if he is born in this second season, so he has to start everything from the beginning. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 10, and whatever. So I'm really grateful that Einar plays this role. I thought that this moment was happening, that it was coming. That means the moment in which Thorfinn is explaining him who he is. I was pleasantly surprised to see that Einar could move on. Because that scene in which he wants to strangle Thorfinn reminds me the moment in which Thorfinn with a sword wanted to kill Askeladd while he was sleeping. At that time he didn't do it, of course, and he couldn't do it anyway because Askeladd died because of Knuto. But at that time he could manage the anger because Thorfinn at that time didn't kill anybody yet. After he started killing people, he said, okay, now I'm ready, I wanted to kill you, but he couldn't. In the case of Einar, Einar has never killed anyone too, so for him, it's pretty hard to believe that he would have strangled Thorfinn. If Einar, for example, killed the same amount of people as Thorfinn did, probably he didn't have any sort of problem to strangle him. The way in which Einar grew older than Thorfinn, by not killing anyone, proves to Thorfinn already that you can live your life without killing, that you can make it if you want. We know that Thorfinn already has the hands dirty because of all the blood that he spreaded because of all the people he killed, but he can't say that he doesn't have a second chance, because Thorfinn changed, or Thorfinn absorbed those teachings since he was 6, or since he was 5, 6, whatever. By saying this, I don't want to say that he's not guilty at all, because anyway, when he grew up, he should have taken his responsibilities for what he did. But that doesn't mean that we can condemn Thorfinn 100%. That's what I think. It's like in our world when we see lots of kids who have guns already and they shoot, and they are instructed like this. So the real guilty people here are the ones who were surrounding Thorfinn at that time. That means the Vikings. And I'm happy that now Thorfinn has the chance to grow up and to find himself in a different environment. I really hope that he stops saying that there's nothing worth living because his family is still waiting for him. And I hope that Einar is talking about his family, because even Einar has a sister. Had a sister and a mom. And even Thorfinn has a sister and a mom. So I really hope that Einar, by talking about his family, probably in the future episodes, he is confessing to Thorfinn about what happened to his relatives too, so that Thorfinn can relate, can understand, oh wait, I also have a mom, I also have a sister, let me go and meet them or something. I really hope that Einar pushes him to choose this path instead of something else. By the way, last but not least, at the end, we saw, I think that was Knuto, because we saw lots of crosses, and we know that Knuto comes from a Christian environment. Ragnar was instructing him a lot about Christianity, and he was always praying. So to see all those crosses, I don't know if those crosses are the crosses of the people who died that they were on his side, or he was building all those crosses to commemorate anyway even the people, the enemies who were dying because of his soldiers. So I wanted to see even Knuto back, because we needed to understand how this character evolved, what he's thinking, what he's doing, how he was influenced by Hadler, his brother, or how he is influenced by the environment he's living in, because you know that when you become the king, based on what his father said, you change, you become someone else, and you are attracted by some negative stuff. So I really hope that Knuto doesn't go that way, but he is trying to do something different than what his father did. Let's see. I'm really curious, and also I wanted to see when he will meet Thorfinn, because you need to remember that Thorfinn couldn't stand the fact that suddenly, accidentally speaking, Knuto killed Askeland. So I really want to see the first meeting between the two, also because lots of years have gone through, I guess. Let's see what's going to happen. But I could see that Knuto is surrounded by this dark aura. There are all these crosses on the ground, but at the same time the sky is not clear at all, as it was at the beginning when we first met him in season 1. I am afraid that Knuto went on the wrong side, so probably we need a Thorfinn again, because do you remember Thorfinn was the first person that Knuto got in touch with. So at the end of the day, if Thorfinn changes, even Knuto can change. I mean, if they meet and they talk, let's see, so many great things are going to happen here, and I can't wait. Last but not least, that man who was healing Thorfinn's injuries reminded me of that woman, because that woman in season 1 was helping Thorfinn to regain consciousness and to let him feel at home. She even considered him as her son. Do you remember John? So I really liked that scenario because it really represented that moment. But at that time, Thorfinn has never said thank you. Do you remember? Even in season 1, he didn't even know how to say thank you. But in this case, it was different. Einar was in front of him and he was scolding him. He was saying, you have to say thank you because he did something good to you. Okay, things are changing. I want to say this too. I mean, when Thorfinn says, I wanted to go into the woods after he was healed and whatever, Einar says, I'm coming with you. I mean, he never leaves Thorfinn by himself. And this is so different than before because Thorfinn has always been alone. No matter if he was together with Askeladd or not, he was always feeling alone. But this time is different. So life, once again I say this, life is proving Thorfinn that he is wrong. And I'm happy for that. I'm happy for Thorfinn. And I have to say that even in this story, you can understand all perspectives. I understand Einar's perspective. I understand Thorfinn's perspective. I can really feel the way in which the author is describing those multiple emotions. So I wanted to praise Makoto Yukimura for the great thing that he is doing with this story. And I can't wait to go on, and then with the season 3, I mean, we will be here. So stay tuned and keep on watching me. Thank you so much for the support, guys, and see you next time with episode 5 of season 2 of Vinland Saga. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye bye.